Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Cessna SkyCourier takes next step towards first flight. King Schools names the 2020 Martha King Scholarship recipient, and Boeing temporarily suspends Puget Sound production operations. Welcome, I'm Sophie Herlock. Textron Aviation has completed initial ground engine tests on the prototype Cessna SkyCourier twin utility turboprop featuring Pratt Whitney Canada PT6A-65SC engines. These ground engine tests verified the functionality of the fuel system and engines, as well as the interface with the avionics and electrical systems. The Cessna SkyCourier program continues to advance with assembly of the prototype, an additional 5 flight and ground test articles. In December, the wings were successfully mated to the fuselage. In January, power to the aircraft's electrical system was turned on, and last month the tail was installed to the fuselage. The Cessna SkyCourier will be offered in various configurations, including a 6,000-pound payload-capable freighter, a 19-seat passenger version, or a mixed passenger freight combination, all based on the common platform. The aircraft will feature a maximum cruise speed of up to 200 knots true air speed, and a maximum range of 900 nautical miles. We'll be right back with Around the Patch.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. It's time for today's trip around the patch. California Governor Gavin Newsom recently issued Executive Order N-33-20, a stay-at-home decree shutting down all non-essential business in California. Many flight schools within California are now questioning what this means for their school and whether or not they can remain open, according to the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Aviation has been listed as one of the 16 critical infrastructure sectors, which includes flight schools. The Flight School Association of North America believes the CISA definition of critical infrastructure businesses should preempt any state or local declarations. However, they do recommend following all CDC, WHO, and medical advisories regarding employee hygiene, aircraft and facility sanitation, and social distancing if flight schools do decide to remain operational. In order to prevent the spread of COVID-19 throughout the island of the Bahamas, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis announced a 24-hour curfew and border shutdown, closing all airports and seaports to incoming regional or international visitors. These new measures will remain in effect until March 31st. And while there has only been 4 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the Bahamas, the Prime Minister stated, as a small island nation, we cannot afford to lose 800 individuals on any given day, referring to the death toll in Europe. OneWeb successfully launched 34 more satellites aboard a Soyuz launch vehicle from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Saturday. This is the second of its 34 satellite launches in 6 weeks, bringing the total number of satellites in the constellation to 74. An Airbus A400M airlifter performed an air bridge between Toulouse and Madrid in order to deliver critically needed mask supplies to the Spanish health system in support of the current COVID-19 crisis efforts. The cargo is part of the 2 million masks transported over the week by a test Airbus A330-800 aircraft from China to Europe. Airbus will continue to support additional flights planned to take place in the coming days in coordination with national authorities. We'll be right back with the rest of the news. Anna Stanphill of Deland, Florida, was awarded the 5th Martha King Scholarship for female flight instructors during the annual Women in Aviation International Conference in Orlando. The scholarship is valued at over $18,000 and consists of $5,000 cash towards obtaining an initial flight instructor certificate or added ratings, and free lifetime access to all King's School's courses, including Flight Instructor Refresher Courses. After getting married several years ago, Stanphill said her and her husband decided to pursue their private certificates instead of going on a honeymoon. It took her a while to complete her private training while she was working full-time. However, during that time, she met many pilots who had pursued commercial flying as a career change, which inspired her to resign from her job and train full-time all the way to ATP. Stanphill says to her the Martha King Scholarship is more than just the money and courses. It is an extraordinary compliment and confirmation that leaving an established career to pursue aviation was a decision well made. Boeing announced a temporary suspension of production operations at its Puget Sound area facilities in light of the state of emergency in Washington state. These actions are being taken to ensure the well-being of employees, their families, and the local community, and will reportedly include an orderly shutdown consistent with the requirements of its customers. The suspension of production operations will last 14 days, during which Boeing will continue to monitor government guidance and actions on COVID-19 and its associated impacts on all company operations. Puget Sound area-based employees who can work from home will continue to do so. Those who cannot work remotely will receive paid leave for the initial 10 working days of the suspension, double the company policy, which will provide coverage for the 14 calendar day suspension period. When the suspension is lifted, Boeing says it will take an orderly approach to restarting production with a focus on safety, quality, and meeting customer commitments. And that's all for your Wednesday edition of Airborne Unlimited. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check us out on Twitter and on Facebook. For more aviation and aerospace news any time of the day, head over to aero-news.net. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.